Hey guys, this is UltraLegendaryBeast here, and this is the 958th video on the channel. So what we're gonna do is talk about different types of finance. This is the first finance video I'm actually doing. So we have different kinds of finance, and we're gonna be talking about three of them. The first one is personal finance. We're gonna also talk about traditional finance, and this one, DeFi, that is short for decentralized finance. So what is mainly talked about in DeFi or decentralized finance? This is where crypto is. This is where crypto is. Crypto markets. That's where the crypto markets are. Things like blockchain. Yeah, so that's where decentralized finance tends to go to, like cryptocurrencies, blockchain, crypto ETFs, that kind of area. Personal finance is more about like managing your own finances with things like banking, budgeting, credit worthiness. That's kind of like where that's also kind of like where personal finance is. So we can say credit worthiness. So that's where this is. Budgeting and banking as well. Let's do that. So, with credit worthiness, this is kind of like about your credit score, and your credit scores can be anywhere between 300 to 850. Even though technically it's from 300 to 800. And there are, different types of, credit bureaus out there, and we're gonna get into personal finance later on in one of the next videos. I also do want to, cover a little bit about traditional finance as well. Just the basics. So if we go here, so then traditional finance is on stocks and bonds. Then you've got things like options and futures. We also have like ETFs. So that's where traditional finance is. Decentralized finance is less governed. It's just more government isn't really that much with decentralized finance, but in traditional finance it's more government regulated. And personal finance, it's more regulated by yourself. You're the one that's doing all the budgeting. You're the one that's you're the one with your own bank accounts. You're the one that has your own credit score. You're the one that does most of it. The credit bureaus, they get their sources from third parties, and that's where they generate their credit reports. We'll talk more about that later on. So this is all just basic. And with the blockchains, there are things like the Genesis block, which is the first block of a blockchain, and that you could have as many blocks as well in a blockchain, but the first block has like the special name Genesis block. So that is that. And these are the three big ones. These are the three big things in finance, different types of it. Other than that, there is something like corporate finance. So corporate finance is more with how things actually work with dividends, and maybe a little bit about mergers and acquisitions, that kind of thing. Corporate finance also talks more about like common stock and like yield to maturity, preferred stock. So that's where this is. And with careers in finance, what it is that a lot of people tend to go into either corporate finance or asset management. And asset management is just asset management. What that does is like it focuses it focuses a lot more on financial markets, where all the money is going. So financial markets. Oops, sorry about that. It's supposed to just be MKTS. It's just I'll just retype it. And asset management could also mean being traders, trading. That's where asset management is. It's like where all the money is going. So where does all the money go in, like in the stock market, or what are the trends in the stock market or the crypto market? And people with asset management, what they do is something like technical analysis. That's always something that is there in asset management. And the last thing is fundamental analysis. The fundamental analysis consists more on like what is the earnings per share, the price to earnings ratio, or also known as PE ratio. And as more videos come out on finance, you will see more on what I'm talking about. This is just more of an introductory type video, just talking about the different types of finance, like personal finance, traditional finance, decentralized finance, and then kind of like where people tend to go. Some people will go like towards like corporate finance, which is where preferred stock is, common stock is, once again like dividends. Yield to maturity. Maybe mergers and acquisitions. Also, not to mention, the board of directors is also plays a big part in corporate finance. Board of directors. So there you go. That is all that I have for this video. Thank you so much for sticking around. I know that this is my first video of me doing something like this. I promise in the future more and more videos will get better. This is the first, so thank you so much. Bye.